Alright, well, let's try another one of these. Looks like we got a little bit of positive feedback there, which you might as well take that when you can get it in today's world. So, I already did the 7 o'clock broadcast, so this will be this. You'll get a look at the second broadcast of the day. And it's been a day. There's been a couple little mishaps, mispronunciations or something to that degree. But overall, we got some pretty good stories for the day, don't we, right? So we got about a minute before we go live. Apparently, I thought it would be neat to just do these live, but I'm so out of touch nowadays that you have to have a 1,000 followers on TikTok or 50 on YouTube to go live. But I guess you could do it on Facebook or the Gram. Those little chicks. Here we go. Good morning. I'm Steve Jurens with your KXLG state and local news for Thursday, November 30th, 2023. Your news this hour is brought to you by Watertown Area Community Foundation and Prairie Lakes Wellness Center, providing fitness for life. The Beacon Center not only met its goal for the recent 9th annual KXLG Sellathon fundraiser, but ended up doubling its goal with the amount that was raised. KXLG News sat down with Executive Director Don Sickink and Development Coordinator Megan Wharton with the Beacon Center to learn more about the event's success. Sellathon kicked off at 7:30 a.m., and KXLG announcers took song requests with monetary donations attached until 5 p.m. Don Sickink explains more. Got a little button down here, cough button. So if I find myself running out of breath for some reason, or I got a cough or burp or clear your throat or whatever, you'll see you can just reach down here, pop that little button, it'll shut the microphone off. And then over here is the whole entire board, so I can shut my microphone off completely. Megan Wharton talks about some matching sponsors.
Our sponsor, and they may sponsor either up to $500 or $1,000 that they matched in community donation.
Families and businesses have expressed the adverse effects of inflation being on the rise, and the charities have also felt the impact.
We actually, when we look back on the last year, we really had to push to try to even meet our goal. This year we had our goal, we met it and doubled it. So this is absolutely just out of the world. So, and it has been a struggle over the past couple of years, but with everything coming off COVID, and you really just don't know. But we always are absolutely just wonderfully, taken back by our community and how they support us, and they continue to support us.
Sickink talks about future events, and Wharton shows gratitude for all the donors.
We're always looking to how to provide for Beacon Center and fill those gaps that maybe our federal grants and state funding don't cover. That's really what we're always doing is a constant. Thank you to everybody that donated and listened to us yesterday on the radio, all of the communities.
71 donors, including 5 corporate matching sponsors, raised $20,400 for the Beacon Center to double its initial goal of $10,000 in just under 8 hours, which is a testament to the support and importance of its mission. To find out more information on the Beacon Center and its vital service, check out the link attached to the article on mykxlg.com. New plea agreement documents have been filed today in the federal case of Ted T.J. Jeffrey Herkus, 44 of Watertown. According to court documents, Herkus would plead guilty to count one of the indictment filed in this case, which charged the production of child pornography. The charge carries a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years, up to 30 years in prison, a $250,000 fine or both, and a period of supervised release of a mandatory minimum of 5 years up to life. If accepted by the court, the remaining counts would be dismissed. Herkus would also, under the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act, a federal law, register and keep the registration current in each of the following jurisdictions where he resides, where he is an employee, and where he would be a student. A factual basis statement filed by Herkus's attorney, Amanda Work, and signed by Herkus, admits on or around October 2, 2022, a cell phone owned by Herkus was used to record sexually explicit activity with a minor female unbeknownst to them, with the intent to distribute in various ways, including a computer. A sealed plea agreement supplement that is restricted was also filed. A scheduling order was filed ordering Herkus to appear in court on Monday, December 4th, at 3 p.m. at the U.S. Federal Courthouse in Aberdeen. Herkus still faces 72 charges from the state of South Dakota that include multiples of the same counts, and currently shows a status hearing scheduled for December 6th and a jury trial for December 14th. However, continuances, or, as with the federal case, a plea agreement could be reached. The University of South Dakota has announced that it will partner with the SDHSAA, or the South Dakota High School Activities Association, to tackle the sports officials shortage. KXLG News connected with the Watertown School District to see how the impact affects the area. According to the release from the University of South Dakota, quote, with just a little over 1,600 officials in South Dakota, the state's referee shortage continues to be a pressing issue. And with the existing pool of officials continuing to age, the SDHSAA saw a need to get younger people involved in officiating, end quote. Having trouble with breath. Activities Director for the Watertown School District, Craig Boyens, said the district is, quote, pretty fortunate to have local officials who also happen to be teachers who are willing to work with new and upcoming officials, end quote. Boyens says the district also has a great relationship with Josh Mogg, the City of Watertown's Parks and Recreation Supervisor, and the staff, working closely with individuals interested in officiating. He also welcomes anyone interested in becoming an official to reach out. More from the USD release is attached to the article on mykxlg.com. And we'll be back with more news after this. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you get your cadence and maybe you make a little mistake, which every time I flip out about them, everyone says they didn't even notice. Maybe the listeners don't either, but I suppose when you have a certain passion for what you do, and if you know anything about me, I'm very self-critical. So anyways, it probably messes with me, and then have trouble catching your breath and doing like the proper cadence, and you know, there's always that little news voice and stuff that's continuing to develop. So in the wake of the recent news, the Sioux Falls School District has announced regarding its lunch policy, and if or when a child may be turned away for lunch, KXLG News connected with the Watertown School District to find out locally how it's handled. The Sioux Falls School District reported that growing debt from unpaid meals is forcing the district to make fiscally responsible changes that take effect on December 1st. Any negative debt was paid off, quote, thanks to generous donors, end quote. Therefore, on Monday, December 4th, when an account has a negative balance, breakfast cannot be charged. Once the account reaches a negative $20 balance, the student will be offered a, quote, smart snack and a milk rather than a hot lunch, end quote, while charging $1 each time to the account. If the account reaches a negative $75 balance, quote, no smart snack or meal can be served, end quote. Business manager Heidi Clausen with the Watertown School District told KXLG News when asked if a child would ever be turned away for a meal, quote, a child will not be turned away for a meal. However, we are only able to keep this current practice in place with the help from our parents and guardians in maintaining their students' lunch balances, end quote. Another reason I probably can't do TV. Many variables enter into these situations, and a certain amount of parental responsibility must be accounted for. Nonetheless, the problem remains and continues to grow throughout several communities. Kello News reported in September 2023 that Democrat Caden Whitman, a state representative for District 15 in Sioux Falls, made it her mission to reduce the cost of school lunches for families. Quote, I knew that was something I really wanted to try and move the needle on a little bit. Last year was my first session. I'm a freshman legislator, and I decided to go big or go home. I brought a bill that would have made all K-12 public schools in South Dakota have free school lunch, said Whitman. Her bill was estimated to cost $33 million and was killed in February. In January, she plans to introduce new legislation that would have a similar impact. Quote, I think the return on investment on free school lunches is so much more than just the monetary aspect of it. It's creating a healthier community, said Whitman. According to the Education Data Initiative 2023 report, South Dakota has nearly 35,000 food insecure children and about $6.3 million in school meal debt. However, it isn't the only state that's struggling. Minnesota schools owe more than $29 million. North Dakota owes $3 million, which has the lowest meal debt in the country. Clausen expounded on the school lunch policy within the Watertown School District attached to the article on mykxlg.com. Whew. And now, a good news story presented by Embrace Dentistry. Embrace Dentistry believes that if you focus on good news, you'll see more of it. Like this story. Members of the South Dakota National Guard at the Brigadier General Ernie Edwards Readiness Center in Watertown received an early Christmas present Wednesday afternoon, courtesy of the Boy Scouts and the people of Watertown. Each year, Scouts nationwide sell popcorn as a fundraiser, much like Girl Scouts sell their famed cookies. If they don't want popcorn, Scout spokesman Chris Bartelt told KXLG News that they have another option. Whenever I'm not 110% sure on a name, seems to always mess with the the rest of the sentence. That donated popcorn filled the bed of a full-sized pickup, and on Wednesday, the tasty treats were delivered to Guard members at the Readiness Center. Major Michael Nye, 147th Administrative Officer, said it was exciting for the Guard members to see some of the Scouts and receive the donation. Flipping delay sometimes on these old computers. Bartelt said around 100 Scouts sold popcorn from just after the start of the school year through mid-October. Each year, they sell around $60,000 worth of popcorn, with proceeds supporting area Scout activities. Now with another good news story presented by Embrace Dentistry, helping you embrace a more comfortable experience while spending less time in the dental chair. And if you focus on good news, you'll see more of it. Your news this hour was brought to you by Watertown Area Community Foundation and Prairie Lakes Wellness Center, providing fitness for life. From the KXLG Newsroom, I'm Steve Jurens. Oh. The little thumbs up smiley thing is so corny. Alright, well, there's the second broadcast of the day. We'll do another one at noon. Don't generally implement more stories unless something pops up. And I'll just be working on stuff throughout the day. So, here's a little bit of what everything looks like. And there you go. Live and local from KXLG News, I'm Steve Jurgens.